Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat and welcome to another edition of Kapehan sa Davao here at the second floor at SM City Annex. We'd like to thank SM City Davao for again hosting our Monday Kapehan. So we have a 30 sets of guests. No? Second guest will be discussing the Davao Golf Close Season. Guest natin BFAR, and we have kasabay po niya yung from DOH11, they will be discussing the status of MPAPs and also yung discussing yung mga COVID-19 na mga updates. And the first batch of guests, we are joined by our friends from Guy Davao City Tourism, Philippine Eagle Foundation, and the Davao City Cacao Industry. They will be talking about for the Philippine Eagle Foundation, we have the Philippine Eagle Week, and Gracie is and also Toto yung Buaw Davao and yung Chocolate yung cacao na activity sa Buaw Davao. Then we have merong National Convention on the Philippine Federation of Tour Guide Organizations. We have, this will be hosted by Davao City. We have Milber Cantiveros will talk about that event. So, to start our press con, we'd like to get the opening statement. We'll start with Toto.
Good morning. Morning, everyone. Mayong buntag sa tanan. We are happy that you invited us here. I am Toto Muico. I represent the Davao Region Cacao Industry Council and the Cacao City Marketing Cooperative. This month of June, we will be having a month-long celebration on the kasadya ng kulturang cacao, and this is in coordination with our partners, the City Tourism of Davao, the Department of Tourism, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Agriculture. So, maraming nagtutulong-tulungan para ngayong buwan ho ng June, magkaroon tayo ng month-long na celebration. So, later on, we will be giving you all the details, the activities that we will be conducting, and I hope that you can catch up with all these events for the month of June. Thank you.
We have Eric Francisco, Philippine Eagle Foundation.
Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you so much for letting us join today's Kapehan. I'm Eric from the Philippine Eagle Foundation, and we are sharing with everyone our upcoming celebration called the Philippine Eagle Week 2025. This is a national celebration dedicated, of course, to our national bird, the Philippine Eagle. So it is based on a national legislation. It puts our national bird on the center stage to discuss all the relevant issues surrounding our Philippine eagle and the forest habitat it represents. Our national Philippine Eagle Week celebration is divided into 3 legs for this year. We have one is in SM City Cabanatuan for our Luzon leg. That will be on June 5. And for June 4, it will be our official kickoff. This will happen at the Philippine Eagle Center in Malagos, here in Davao City. And for our third leg, still here in Davao City, this will be the national leg, since we will be joined by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources Biodiversity Management Bureau and the Eastern Mindanao Biodiversity Corridor. So this will happen here at SMCP Davao at the event area on June 9 to 11, 2025. So it will be a 3-day activity that will start with an opening program on June 9 and a series of talks that will come right after. We will also have a film showing on June 10 and a workshop with kids on June 11 together with our indigenous youth artists here in Davao City. So, and the 3-day activity also includes an exhibit that features our eagles and the communities here in Davao City that help protect it.
Okay, malapit na pala to Grace.
Mabuhay ug madayaw, mayong buntag sa tanan. I am Gracie Plata from the City Tourism Operations Office. I'm here to talk about the Duo Davao Festival, which will open in June 5, this Thursday, and also the 3 new activities or events within the Duo, which is the Kape ug Chocolate Crawl, the Definitely Davao City Tour, and the Definitely Davao Arts and Film Exhibit. So, yan, later na lang.
Mabuhay madayo everyone. I'm here to invite everyone to witness our national convention. This will be the 12th national convention of Philippine Federation of Tour Guide Association. These are different associations of tour guides all over the Philippines. This will be held in Mati City. So the entry point of all the delegates will be in Davao City. Then we will be traveling to Mati on 14. This will be held on 15, 16, and 17. So we would like to highlight the different destinations in the Davao Oriental, particularly the Aliwagwag Waterfalls, the Pusan Point, the Mount Hamigitan Mountain Range. So I will be discussing it later on more.
Ilan lahat expected natin na participants?
There were about 200 to 250 participants all over the country. So from Luzon to Mindanao, up to Zamboanga delegates. There will be tour guides from Zamboanga.
Okay, to Toto, yung KKK, anong mangyayari and usually yung situation na ngayon because we are the chocolate capital, no? Ano yung mga bago ngayon na mga updates natin sa industriya? And tell us more about ano itong yung KKK.
Okay. Maraming salamat. Unang-una ho, we would like to thank the city tourism for really giving emphasis in promoting our city as the chocolate capital of the Philippines. Because, ito po yung isa sa mga push natin pagdating natin sa tourism. And the Davao Region Cacao Council is actively working with the tourism industry, with the Davao Tourism Association, the Davao Association of Tour Operators, no? And what are we doing right now? We are packaging Davao as the chocolate destination for the Philippines. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? Yung ating turismo kasi kailangan medyo dapat active tayo sa pag-promote. So, I'm happy nga that the tour operators, the tour guides by sila are here also. Because, they will be the ones to push dun sa ating mga bisita from Manila, Cebu, and maybe all over the Philippines, even foreigners who would be coming to Davao, and they will be going through the crawl, no? So ang tinatawag natin dito yung chocolate crawl. And this will happen actually not only this month of June, okay? Ang mangyayari dito, magpapackage tayo ngayon ng tour ng chocolate crawl and even coffee crawl, so that all of the visitors will go to Davao. They would be going around and go to the interesting places which are picturing chocolates and cacao. So, ang ibig sabihin, kasama dyan yung farm, kasama dyan yung mga cafes, kasama dyan yung mga gumagawa ng iba't ibang mga produkto. So, ang ibig sabihin, hindi lang ito para ngayong month. Ang ibig sabihin nito, magiging regular ito na offering ngayon para sa ating mga turista. And I think that this time is really right for the different agricultural commodities to promote themselves and to offer themselves to the tourists. And this is really very, very purposive, no? Hindi tayo yung nandito lang tayo tapos mag-aantay. Tayo itutulak natin ito sa kanila. That way, we can really push and give emphasis on tourism, agri-tourism here in Davao region. So that is one of the activity. And on June 13 to 15, okay, that will be in Abrisa. We will have kasadya ng kulturang Cacao Fair. Okay, so this is a chocolate fair which would feature all the chocolate makers in the region. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin, lahat ng ating mga players all around the region will be there, and we will be promoting our products. And what is important is that we will be able to offer them new products, more innovative products to our consumers. And hopefully, the media, of course, I know that you will be there to promote also. You've been a part of the industry ever since. And this kasadya ng kulturang Cacao will run from June 13 to 15. And then the Cacao tours will run the whole month. And we will also have some mga competitions on cacao art and also on cacao yung mga designs ng mga clothes natin. All of this will happen in the month of June.
Okay. Before I go to Gracie, like to ask Eric, kumusta yung Eden facility natin, yung for breeding, is it operational na ba? How many birds are already there, and ano yung para update para ma-breeding nila dito sa facility?
Also, it's operational already. We started it started its operations last year, and we had promising results last year and early this year. But of course, I am sure you know about the recent news of our eagles passing at the National Bird Breeding Sanctuary. Yes, again, it's operational, and I'm not sure with the number of eagles there because, of course, we had mortality, and we also transfer birds from time to time, especially those breeding birds, because Malagos is not very conducive now for breeding. And it's nearing its phase 2 already, so this is also a perfect opportunity for us to entice or enjoin the public to support our ongoing construction of the National Bird Breeding Sanctuary, because the goal really is to transfer all the breeding eagles there at the sanctuary, and PEC will remain to be the educational hub for Philippine eagle conservation.
Okay, Gracie, ano yung bago ngayon sa Duao? I think parang sa simulated to kasama ang Philippine Eagle Center, no? Nakasama sila is the Philippine Eagle Week kasama sa Duao?
Yes, for the Duao Davao, definitely Davao City Tour. So, kasali ang Philippine Eagle. First stop sila actually. This tour is a way of introducing Davao City to our visitors and even the locals. So, there will be 100 slots for the taking. Mag-register lang via QR. We will be posting that in the next few weeks. So, free ni siya nga tour around Davao City. Our first stop will be Philippine Eagle, and then we'll be going to Grand Verde Farm for Cacao Lacao as a support for our cacao farmers. And then in the afternoon, we will be highlighting Davao Central 911, the Public Safety Office, our new Museo Davaoenyo, and our city library. So, it highlights what makes Davao City unique and special. So, mo na atong definitely Davao City Tour.
Okay, again, reminding ko, this is the first batch, the second batch is from the DOH and the BFAR. And to Bilber, kasama din kayo sa Duao Davao, no? Based sa yung, ano yung mga issues ngayon sa inyong national conventions? Because nabasa ko noon na parang mababa ata yung ating tourism arrivals. Is there a pressing issue that you will be discussing regarding sa ating tourism industry?
Yes, part of the convention is that on the June 15, our invited guest is from the DOT po. It's the Undersecretary. So, one of the topics na pwedeng ma-discuss dyan is the current status po ng tourism ng whole Philippines. Well, tour guides are already part of the component of a tour. So, it's like the tour guide po yung parang frontliner po ng mga bisita. So, being a frontline of the guests, factor din po kung ano yung magiging outcome ng turista natin dito sa Pilipinas. So, yes, there are news already, but
on our behalf as a tour guide, we cannot exactly say the current status po talaga ng DOT, but for us here as the frontliners, we can really say na satisfied naman din po talaga yung mga bisita natin sa Pilipinas. Kasi nga, the DOT trained tour guides are actually doing its best kung ano yung pwedeng mapakita natin sa bisita natin. So, hindi lang kasi yung parang ang tour guide lang na nagkukwento or sinasabi, ito yung lugar, ito yung SM, ito yung isang mall, itong park, but the stories behind. So, merong mga factor na physical tour guide talaga yung magkukwento sa mga guests natin, sir. So, we are hoping na maganda pa rin yung resulta ng mga tours natin sa Pilipinas.
Okay, I will open the floor to questions from our friends on the media.
Good morning. Sir Toto. Sir, kumusta na ito ang cacao production karon sa Davao? Wala ba ka na-challenge because of kanang pagpaningkamot nato mga patasan ang ato ang durian food na production?
Okay. I would like to give you the situation right now dun sa international market on cacao. So si cacao ngayon, since 2024, nasa record high ang kanyang prices in the world market. So that is the same as some of the other commodities like coffee is also high right now, no? And then pumasok ngayon si durian. Actually, ang kagandahan dito is that yung mga agricultural commodities ngayon na ang ganda-ganda ng mga presyo at maganda yung opportunity natin in the world market. We have to really take advantage of all these situations. No? Ang ibig sabihin, of course, si cacao ngayon, mataas ang presyo. So marami ngayon nagtatanim din. Okay. Maganda rin ang opportunity ngayon ni durian, so marami rin nagtatanim. So ang ibig sabihin, yung balance ngayon ng mga iba't ibang commodities, yan yung tinitingnan din ng sektor ng agrikultura. And I hope that we will have more production. Ang kulang na kulang sa atin is the production. The market is there. The market is demanding for more. Pero kulang yung production natin. So hindi lang yan sa cacao. So sa lahat din ng mga iba't ibang mga commodities na meron tayo dito. Pero ang kagandahan lang is that we do have all these commodities. And it is important that we really plan out how to make it bigger, how to scale it up so that more farmers will benefit from all these opportunities.
Follow-up, sir. How do we get ito sa production?
Okay. Maraming mga programa ngayon from the government which are really promoting the expansion of the different commodities. So para sa cacao, for the Davao Region Council, what we are doing is we are developing different areas which can be we can say demonstration farms, no? So in the whole province, we are planning to put up demonstration farms which we can say that these are the farms that can be yung pwedeng gayahin ng ating mga farmers, and this will happen within this year until na, but it's already starting, and we are advocating more on regenerative agriculture. Ang ibig sabihin, lesser ngayon yung ating use, hopefully lesser yung ating use ng chemicals, pero pangalagaan natin yung ating lupa at para yung ating mga mas magkaroon tayo ng long-term na benefit for the plants, no? And then that way we can say that in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, we will have more production of cacao that we can serve both the domestic and international market.
Sir, Sir Iris, sir, nabat yung mga bagong guidelines di pagula after sa cases of monkeypox?
Yes, we released parang public advisory last day in joining our guests at the center to wear face masks, and our breeding team will convene actually today to also discuss regulations, added regulations, and safety nets to safeguard our eagles at the center from, of course, from the public health emergency now, and also because nagihapon ang atong avian influenza or the bird flu. So at the center now, wala tayo actually flight demonstrations because of one of our safety nets. Wearing of face masks for our guests. And may mga ipagawa sa mga added regulations in the next days after the convention of our breeding team. With the goal, of course, ultimately, para ma-safeguard ang atong eagles from any potential harm. Yes po, because medyo delikado na ang nagtataas ang mga cases, and we don't want to put our birds and also our guests in danger, especially because following Duao Davao and Eagle Week, we are nearing Kadayawan, medyo high traffic ang atoang center.
Thank you, sir. Kanang Gracie. Ma'am, after the first pilot sa atuang Duao Davao last year, unsay effect niya sa atuang tourist arrival in Davao City?
Actually, for this year, we are expecting more tourist arrivals. From 2023 to 2024, compared na atay 40% increase sa atong tourist arrivals. So, for this year, we are hoping, even with the current situation nga na atay mga threats sa health or sa monkeypox, so mag-increase pa gyud ang ato ang tourist arrivals. So wala pa may figures for this year, but 2023 to 2024 na ay 40% increase ang ato ang tourist arrivals sa Davao City.
How about mga investors po na nag-cooperate sa ato ang mga programs?
Ang DCIPC, of course, they are continually attracting investors. Bago lang sila nagkuan with, of course, China ato amang yung unsa na partner. So there will be new programs or projects with China. For the meantime, ang mauna sa ang murag ng focus karon sa DCIPC.
Last lang, wala ba naka-affect ni na ay mga changes ang ato ang government, especially sa pagkandak og mga agreement between the Philippines and the China?
I cannot say because I do not know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir Toto. Sir, balikan lang nato gamay since we are really gearing towards tawag nito pag-export ng mga cacao products nato. How ready is our farmers when it comes to meeting the guidelines siguro and siyempre pressure din ng international market?
Yeah. We're more than ready because we have been exporting since 2008, 2009. So, ang ibig sabihin lang, ready tayo doon sa market requirements because number one, we've been exporting to Europe, we've been exporting to Australia, to different countries. And it means that the product cacao is acceptable in the world market. In fact, we have been receiving a lot of recognition pagdating natin doon sa quality ng ating cacao, di ba? So, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, the product is acceptable. Ang malaki talaga nating problema is the scalability. Yung dami ng ating pwedeng i-supply. Dahil sa gusto pa nila ng mas marami, kaya lang ang problema, wala tayong magbigay. Di ba? So, that's why the programs are really should be focused on scaling up the production areas.
Is our government ready for assisting our farmers para sa mas madaghan na export product?
Yeah. The government has been there since the time that I was doing cacao. The government has really been very, very supportive, no? And in fact, that is the reason why there were influx of even mga exporters coming in, yung mga iba't ibang mga chocolate manufacturers are already here, they're sourcing their beans here, kaya lang kulang na kulang yung supply. And that is why the government right now is looking into, and even years ago. So, yun yung tinututukan kung paano magparami talaga ng kakao. Even the city government, they've been really pushing this very hard for the past years para magkaroon tayo ng maraming supply.
Sir, last for Sir Toto. Sir, since we are gearing towards upscaling, you said government, farmers are ready. How come we have lower output para i-export? Saan yung gap doon? And how do we able to address?
Well, okay. The whole world is producing around 5 million metric tons. Okay. Philippines is only around 12,000 metric tons. So, ang ibig sabihin, 12,000 versus 5 million, doon tayo, yun yung position ngayon ng Pilipinas. So, ang ibig sabihin, that's only around 0.01% of the whole pie. Diba? So, ang ibig sabihin lang, maliit tayong na player. But then, ang atin kasi na trust is really to provide quality beans also. So, ang ibig sabihin, yung mga niche markets na gusto ng high quality beans, dito rin tumitingin sa atin sa Pilipinas. So, with that situation, you can imagine na hindi siya yung pwede mong idoble ka agad the next year. Parang ganun. So, it really takes time. And I hope that in the next 5 years, and the whole of the Philippine Council is really looking into this. From 12,000, at least kahit in the next 10 years, madoble natin yung ating production, then I think that will mean a lot. More farmers that will be benefiting from the crop and also from the programs of both the government and private sector. So, hindi lang din sa gobyerno, ma'am. It's also the private sector working hand in hand with the government.
And how are we going to address also the local demand, sir? Because of course we have also local demands, and it seems like we're short of also providing for our local citizens.
Actually, it's a happy challenge. Why? Because we are the only country which are producing cacao, which are also chocolate consuming. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin, maganda ito para sa atin. Dahil kung sakaling magkaroon ng problema ngayon yung international market, meron ka ngayong local market na kaya niya i-absorb lahat ng iyong produkto. And I think that that is one of those unique features of Philippine cacao, because everybody here in the Philippines loves chocolate. Doon tayo swerte. Swerte tayo na meron tayong ganun. Dahil kung merong problema ngayon sa world market, meron tayong local market na nasasalo. In fact, sa totoo lang, yung mga bumibenta sa local market, the local market is buying and is selling at very, very good prices than the world market, which is dictated by international trading practices. So, ang ating strength is really on the local. Sa totoo lang. And then, we have the export market which are also waiting for us. So, imagine, these are opportunities for the farmers, for the chocolate makers, for the traders, so everybody in the value chain.
Thank you, sir. Sir Eric. Sir, balikan ko lang po yung situation ng mga eagles natin. You've said meron tayong mga mortalities. Anong factor dun sa mga ganong incidents, sir? And how do we able to manage na para ma-ensure na makapag-produce pa tayo ng eagles?
Well, I'm gonna really speak for the factors because it's for our breeding team to discuss. But previously, yung mga incidents natin are natural occurrences in our eagles, and number one sa Ingana, of course, is our national bird breeding sanctuary. it's nice that we have that facility that will house our birds na ang condition dito kay relative to what we have in Malagos kay mas maayo, mas conducive to our breeding eagles. And of course, we are constantly upscaling our methodologies also to align with current technologies. We have technologies na at the new sanctuary that will really allow us to hopefully produce more of our eagles, and staff upskilling also is one.
Last na lang, sir. Sir, I remember na naamoy program dun sa tree planting for the breeding areas ng mga eagles. Kumusta naman siya, sir? And paano siya maka-help dito sa katong ato ang effort para mas mahimong okay ang mga eagles sa ilahang natural habitat?
Right. So, one, we have Planting for the Future. It's one of our reforestation campaigns where we let the public adopt tree seedlings so that they could also participate in our reforestation efforts. And why we are heavy on reforestation? Because we have this our philosophy that when you protect the eagles, you need to restore first its habitat, because it wouldn't make sense if you breed and breed eagles but they don't have territories where they can thrive. So number one, really, of the many factors for eagle conservation is the habitat. And the pinakauna to achieve that is forest restoration, which is we are having now. And it's within ancestral domains also, so we are partners with indigenous peoples. So they would also be empowered to protect their own ancestral domains.
Okay. A few questions because we have a second batch.
Hello po, good morning, Sir Toto. Sir, I heard from the person I know dito sa may bukid na area, nagtanom sila og kakao ng mga trees dati, sir. Pero naabot ang time nga ni barato og nihinay. Silang giilisan og mga punuan sa lubi, sir. Karon naabot ay mga programs na i-convert na po nato ang other na mga plants into kakao.
Okay. So, papasok tayo dun sa issue ng productivity. Yung presyo ng kakao kasi and all other commodities in the world market, that is dictated by the world pricing of the different commodities. So, ang ibig sabihin lang, pagdating mo ngayon dito sa kakao, merong akyat, merong baba. Tama yun, magkakaroon ng akyat at baba talaga yun siya. That one, more or less, we can say na medyo hindi natin yun siya makontrol. Okay. But then, what we can control is the productivity in the farms. So, ang ating, the thrust now of both the private sector and the government is to increase productivity. So, right now, the productivity of cacao in our farms per tree right now is more or less around 500 grams. Okay, 1 tree. So, ang ibig sabihin yan, kailangan mo na ayusin yung pagtatanim so that you can increase the yield, which we are targeting to between 1.5 kilos per tree to 2 kilos. So, imagine, you have 500 grams to 1.5 to 2 kilos. Ang ibig sabihin, more than half. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Yan yung panlaban mo ngayon doon sa baba ng presyo. Kasi once na bumaba ang presyo, pero maganda ang iyong productivity, kikita ka pa rin. Ang problema mo is kapag bumaba yung presyo at mababa ang iyong productivity, doon ka hindi kikita. So that is why it is really a challenge for both in the Cacao Council and also the government to ensure that the farmers are well trained, they are doing the right protocols. So what we're doing is we're training them on regenerative farming so that the yields will increase, and then mas long term yung kanilang pagtatanim at pagka-harvest dun sa kanilang mga lupa. I don't yet have any any information on yung sa dispersals. Wala pa parang magkakaroon ng mga dispersals within this year and next year. For this, as of the moment, wala akong alam na dispersal program. Pero ang alam ko, marami ngayong mga nagtatanim who are private individuals and even businesses planting cacao.
Okay, we stream live the PIA Davao Facebook page at kadangpan digital. Wala pang digital sa BTV. Okay, before I go to the I would like to ask Sir Wilbert, yung sabi yung Davao Oriental, yung why choose Davao Oriental na doon yung tour guides para din sila mag-tour?
Actually, sir, the convention is yearly siya ginagawa. It started way back in 2010. And then in 2012, nag-beat na rin po yung Davao. At that time, I was not yet an officer, I was just a tour guide. And then since after 13 years, we felt na parang Davao na naman. Kasi paikot-ikot na ito, from Lawag to Cebu, Cagayan, Bohol, Palawan, and in Luzon area. So this time, na tingin namin, why not Davao naman? And then since Davao is already emerging market na rin, especially the Davao Oriental. So in 2012 kasi Davao City, so in 2025, Davao Oriental na naman kami. To also support the gauge or the thrust of the DOT na pinopromote natin yung Davao Oriental right now.
Kompleto na sila, may mga facilities, hotels, bagong hotels.
Yeah, actually the Davao Oriental, particularly the Mati City can cater at least, I think they can cater up to 1,000 yata ngayon. I cannot say the exact, but they have convention centers, they have hotels that can cater up to 400 to 500. And facility-wise, walang problema na po. May mga in din, they can have this kind of quantity. Medyo hindi lang naman kami po marami. We're about 250 to 300, depende sa mga delegates.
This will be the biggest ever for the National Convention, the biggest ever.
We are hoping, sir. We are hoping na this will be the biggest. Kasi nga, for the past years, nasa 200 lang or less yung mga delegates. Right now, nasa mga 150 plus na tayo. 184 to be exact. And then, meron pa mga delegates kami na hindi pa nakapag-register. Some of them will be on-site. And then, yun lang din, the challenge right now is that yung bagong problem natin yung health issues. But we are trying to address this kind of health issues right now. It's not the same with COVID na hindi naman siya airborne. So, need to have skin-to-skin contact. And then, wala naman kaming mostly skin-to-skin contact kasi we're just having a tour and then the plenary for the first day.
Okay, to answer, mayroon tayong doctor from DOH that will answer yung MPAX updates and also before for the second part. Then we go to Jim.
Sir Wilbert, nalaman ko. Ma'am, we recently have hello. Kani mga nag-post online, nataas daw ang airfare, especially going to Davao. There have been cases like that na ilang ginareklamo. Has this, na ba siya huge effect sa ato ang tourism, especially nga, we are encouraging people to travel to Davao. Tapos makita nila post online na mag-book sila taas kayo, so mag-discourage sila. Kamusta po ang ating tourism sector on that?
This is actually one of the challenges sa tourism ng Davao region. Na-raise na ni siya na problem sa mga past na mga tourism association meetings. And we are trying to talk to kay naa naman tayo Air Connectivity Council. So, isa ni sa mga challenges na i-try of address ni Air Connectivity Council. Because it is true na one of the challenges or problems na dili maka-visit og Davao is really the high nga airfare. Even usay makaingon ta na mas barato pa mag-abroad kaysa mag-Manila og Davao or other areas to Davao City. So, ingon nila because in demand manggo daw kaayo ang Davao, so murag ka ng ilasang patasan kay murag mao na ang diha sila mo kuha og bawi gani. Because there are so many people coming to Davao, dili siya nahimong law of supply and demand nga pagdaghan ang demand mo barato. Dili siya nahimong ingon ana. So right now, our Air Connectivity Council and our tourism associations are trying to connect with our airlines, Cebu Pacific and PAL, in order to address this. So, murag naapay MICE convention or MICE meeting, MICE council. So, isa ni sa ilaha pong i-discuss within the third quarter of the year.
Yes, tinuod ma'am na madunggan na mo nga taas ko ng airfare going to Davao. But bisan pag-ingunahan ni ang airfare gyapon na to, ma-feel gyapon sa mga turista sa mga tour guide karon na okay gyapon na domestic market natin from local tours pa lang. So I cannot exactly say what's the reason behind between these airlines nga nung inanay lang airfare, but naagad tuyuon gyapon ang syudad sa Davao. Like right now, season siya sa mga educational tours. So even though nga meron natay mga students na within the Mindanao area lang, naagya po yung mga turista nga magpuyok dito sa Davao. So isa gyapon sa mga destination na ginadtuan na to, atong Philippine Eagle Center, dito sa may Malagos, dito sa may Eden, and in the city tour also. So okay man gyapon sa ma'am. Kana lang yung challenge lang gyud ang airfare karon.
So, Sir Iris, na-mention kanina nga we are implementing mandatory face mask atong PSP. Kami alam niyo sa nato implement ko, and then kanang apart from this measure, ito pang measures atong put in place to keep our birds safe.
I think nakadawat ni og advisory from our executives Friday. May nagpagawas na we enjoin our guests to wear face masks, and for additional regulations, other regulations sa mga present na, we can share with everyone after the convention of our team today, because they actually have a convention today, meeting today, to discuss whatever are necessary steps for to safeguard our birds.
Sir, can you give me some planting for the future? If I'm not mistaken, may goal natin to plant 1 million trees to the 3 million trees. Kamusta na po? Pila nakabuok puno atong natanom, o pila ba ang kulang pa o atong kukuran ng church? Kanato atong mga Gavawenyos to plant more trees with us.
So based on the recent presentations of our reforestation team, since our central nursery is at the Philippine Eagle Center, we now have over 1 million seedlings that are up for planting. But since na yung mga weather disturbances, just like na ay dry season, which disallows us from planting trees, and logistics also. So I'm not really sure with the numbers now, but what I can share with everyone is yung ongoing reforestation efforts across nesting sites in Mindanao, Bukidnon, here in Davao, within ancestral domains. So we also partner with IPs. We have satellite nurseries sa mga ancestral domains, and ang operate anak kaya to ang mga indigenous peoples.
Thank you. Sir, Toto, na-mention niyo ko ganina na for the Philippines, 12,000 metric tons of cacao ang ato ang gina-produce ba ni sir? O atong
Current production.
For Davao region, sir, pila ato ang gina-produce ani po? Or Davao region?
Davao region is 80%
80%.
of the total Philippine production. So malaking, that's why we are the capital.
Sir, ano ka nga kanang gusto natin i-double in the next siguro 10 years. How will we siguro, sir, double this po, knowing na kanang medyo atong climate is nag-change na po, nag-init na, and very sensitive ang ato ang mga cacao trees to the weather. Ito ang kanang world steps na mo na po siguro to para ma-achieve na to ang ma-double ang kanang production natin.
Okay, so it's important that we review this, number one, dun sa ating resiliency, let's say pagdating natin sa climate change. And one of those strategies that we're taking is on the regenerative farming. So ang ibig sabihin lang, so if you have 12,000 metric tons, there are two ways to make this happen if you want to double it in the next maybe 5 to 10 years. Okay? Number one is we rehabilitate the trees which are already old. So ang ibig sabihin, itong mga trees na ito, pwede pa rin natin yan sa madoble yung kanilang yield if we are able to apply regenerative farming practices. Okay, pangalawa, of course, yung pagtatanim. So that is expansion, and so these two strategies should be well planned together. So it's not only government, it's also the private sector, so that we can really make this happen.
Okay, we're open to one question na lang because we have part 2. We have Dr. David Mendoza, ARD of DH11 and from BFAR. So, first, one of the last questions, si Carlo of Kadangpan.
Yes, good morning to Sir Moico in relation diya sa cacao for the entire Davao region. Now, you know, dili na to mapidik ang weather no because na yung mga bukirong bahin nagtanom og cacao, of course, but however di man nato matansya if it will suffice the law demand and supply for the cacao for the entire Davao region. So unsa atong paningkamot pod, although it cannot be prevented kay sigig ulan unya madelay pod ang pag-harvest po, sir.
Okay, so ang cacao, it's more really on the nutrition. No, para maging productive siya, you really have to make sure that you give them the right food, give the plant the right food. So, ibig sabihin, it can be resilient if we are able to improve the soil condition, no, and then mas mabaskog siya. And I think that's the way to really go. If we wanted to make the plants more resilient to all these changes in the climate, all these things. Okay. Ang pangalawa is this. Of course, kailangan natin, para magawa yan, kailangan kumita yung si farmer. Diba? Kasi kung hindi kikita si farmer, hindi ngayon siya makakabili ng iba't ibang mga inputs para dun sa kanyang farm at ma-implement niya yung mga strategies like regenerative farming. And it is important that kumita si farmer. And one of those things that I think I really appreciate is the effort of the people here right now. No, if you look at it, the city government is here promoting the Duaw Davao. The association of our tourist guides is here so that they can strengthen what they're doing in the tourism sector. And I would like to really go back to that strategy on farm tourism, agritourism, promoting our products. We have very good products. Pero if you don't promote, like what they are doing right now, then yung sales natin para sa mga SME sales ng mga farmers, magkakaroon yan siya ng effect all throughout. So, this activity really in enhancing the tourism sector is something that all of us will really have to focus on so that all the industries will benefit from what they're doing and from what everybody is working for together.
Okay, thank you. So, Toto, yung sa Peace 911, kamusta yung cacao natin? Yung sa Peace 911, di ba yung sa agroforestry? Ano yung, kasi nakuha kay Ma'am Joji Pantoja yung coffee, naging isa para sa mga former rebels. Sa yung cacao ba na like we have Davao City, may Peace 911 tayo, ano yung contributions na?
Okay. I don't have the details on the project implementation right now, but what I can say is that the Peace 911 strategy is something that in the agriculture sector should look into. Most probably not only in cacao, and most probably not only in coffee, because pagdating mo ngayon dun sa Peace 911, nandun ngayon yung mga lupa na mga malalaki na pwede pagtamnan, di ba? And everybody is looking for big chunks of land for agriculture development. So I think that with that kind of strategy would really be beneficial for everybody, because if you have bigger tracts of land for agriculture, then you can serve the international markets, which are looking for more products coming from us.
Okay, thank you so much to our guests for our first part, parting statement, because the second part we have from DOH and BFAR. Okay, participant natin, let's promote again yung ating mga upcoming activities kasi malapit na, this month na. Sergeant Milber.
Hi, good morning everyone. Mabuhay Mudaya. We would like to invite everyone to join witness our National Convention of Tour Guides this coming June 15 to 17 at Mati City, Davao Oriental. The Tour Guide Convention will be highlighting the different tourist destinations within Davao Oriental, the Aliwagwag, the Pusan Point, the Subangan Museum, the Mount Amigitan Mountain Range, and all of the tourist destinations within Davao Oriental. So, magsadya ta sa among convention this coming June.
So you will be climbing Mount Hamigitan?
Not on the climbing po, sir. On the museum lang because most of the tourist guides at that time is may mga schedule pa po. For those mga tour guides na gusto mag-avail ng post-convention tour, then pwede sila mag-climb or mag-hike sa Mount Hamigitan.
Okay, Gracie. Again, June 5, this Thursday,
Yes,
opening.
this Thursday
Ano mangyari
po,
dyan sa June 5?
performances po by our local artists kasi Duao Davao. So we'll be promoting our local talents. And duration of June 5 to June 29 ang ating kape ug chocolate crawl. So we will be distributing cards during the
Ano yan sa crawl?
So, we will be posting the participating establishments for the coffee and the chocolate crawl. So, kuha ng card, and you visit and you buy their featured products, you get a stamp. So, pag na-finish mo yung sa kape na 15 establishments, and sa chocolate na 10, you get a special prize sa CTOO from the city government. So, ganun yung
Okay, Eric?
And again, good morning everyone. Thank you so much. Philippine Eagle Week celebration here at the Philippine Eagle Center, June 4 to 10, 2025. At SMCT Cabanatuan, June 5, 2025. And for June 9 to 11 here at SMCT Davao.
Toto?
Okay, para po doon sa kakao, kasadya sa kulturang kakao, which will be running from today, June until the end of June. So we will have a lot of activities. We gave you the press kits that gives information on what will be happening the whole month. And the highlight would be on June 13 to 15, which will be the kasadya ng kulturang kakao. Dun po sa Abriza, and all the chocolate makers will be there. And of course, the chocolate crawl and also the promotion of Davao as a chocolate capital. We will have tours around the city, and all those will be part of kasadya ng kulturang kakao. And actually on June 17 to 23, I would like to inform the PIA. I think SMCP will be having their chocolate affair also June 17 to 23. So, part siya ng duaw. So, ang ibig sabihin, dito sa SMCP, and we will also be there.
Parang every year may chocolate festival.
Yeah, every year may chocolate festival. Hingi na lang din ako tawag ito, paalam sa inyo dito sa PIA if on June 16 is Monday kasi we would like to, itong Cafe Sikwate would like to sponsor some drinks. If that is allowed, then we will bring chocolates here on June 16. So okay lang sa inyo.
Okay, so si Toto is Cafe Sikwate, a brand of galing San Isidro, no? Yung San Isidro Davao del Norte. So thank you so much to our guests, Milber, Gracie, and Eric, and Toto. Then thank you so much. So part 2, we have from DOH about MPACs, and from BFAR, the Davao Golf Close Season. Daghang salamat sa atong mga bigala. Again, the Duao Davao, then the guide, para sa Kwanza, Davao Oriental. So yun. Okay, to talk up, we have from DOH, we have Dr. David A. Mendoza, ARD of DOH 11. Then sa BFAR, we have wala si Regional Director, no? Si the representative. So, Ma'am Elaine Vera Belvis, the Chief Fisheries Management, Regulatory and Enforcement Division of the FAR, representing Regional Director Riley Garcia. Then we have Dr. David Mendoza, ARD of DOH 11 to talk about ano yung mga MPAX updates natin, situational. And also siguro yung COVID, may mga news na sa international na nag-spike daw yung mga cases sa globally. Okay. This is the part 2 of our Kapehan sa Davao here at the SM City Annex, second floor. Okay, opening statements siguro. Opening statements po, we have Ma'am from BFAR, opening statements po. Ikuha na lang natin yung close, announcement nyo yung close season for sa Davao Golf.
Maayong buntag sa tanan. Good morning, everyone.
Ikaw na lang yung mic.
So once again, maayong buntag sa tanan. Good morning. On behalf of our Regional Director, Sir Relly D. Garcia, I am Elaine Vera and Belvis of the Fisheries Management Regulatory and Enforcement Division. Karon to discuss the upcoming implementation nagsugod na this coming June 1 up until August 31 of this year ang ato ang establishment of closed season for the conservation sa atong small pelagic fishes within the Davao Gulf.
And Dr. David Mendoza, any statement?
Usa ka mahimisok og luwas na kabuntagon kanatong tanan. Well, we will be talking about impacts and it will depend on your questions. I will be answering it. And then just one more thing. Impacts is not as serious as what you're thinking.
Okay. Before we go to Dr. David, I would like to ask Ma'am, itong close season nag-umpisa na, ano po yung pinagbabawal na activities and usually bakit po tayong merong close season sa Davao Golf and ano yung prohibited activities sa close season?
Thank you, sir. Every June 1 to August 31 of every year, starting 2014, ika-12th year na po natin na implementation of our Davao Golf Close Season, na atay duha ka particular nga pangisdaan nga gina-prohibit nga mangisda during close season. Sumunang ginatawag nato nga ringnet, ang uban sa ilaha tawag nila ani likong, and then napo tay ginatawag na bagnet or basnigan or tapay-tapay. So mao ni siya ang two main fishing gears or pangisdaan nga gina-prohibit nato during close season, regardless kung unsa kadako siya or unsa ang gross tonnage niya or katong mga fishing gears nga dili man pareho ang pangalan sa ringnet or bagnet pero ang iyahang operation technically same sa operation sa ringnet or bagnet or basnigan or tapay-tapay or mga likong.
Ma'am, because you've been holding this annually since tagal na, how effective is the close season? May data ba kayo na parang increase yung fish stocks? Hindi siya na-deplete masyado.
Okay, sir. Based sa ato ang natay ginatawag manggod nga scientific data, based sa ato ang National Stock Assessment Program, natay data na collect from them, so far ang trend sa catch, gikan sa municipal up to commercial, every after establishment ng atong close season is increasing. So natay increasing catch, particularly sa ginatawag natong small pelagic, katong mga lutang nga isda. Kung familiar mo ani, mga tumugpalengke kanang ginatawag natong matambaka, mga karabalyas, o mga galunggong. Muni sila atong ginaprotektahan and during the study ng atong National Stock Assessment Program, increasing ang trend sa fish catch which is positive siya when it comes to implementation sa atong close season.
Okay, to Dr. David Mendoza. Last Friday, yung City Health Davao City, di ano sa parang merong 6, yung 4 na bago this month. For the whole region, ano po yung data natin sa MPAX?
Okay. For the whole region, we have so many suspects. But remember, we only have 8 confirmed cases. That is for the whole Davao region.
Sali na yung sa Davao City.
Yes, that is for the whole region.
Ilan pong suspect? Do we have the exact number?
Marami. So usually we don't discuss with the suspects kasi when we talk of the suspect, all are suspect. Anyone, kung may rash ka, may fever ka, you can be considered as suspect. So we now go focus on the confirmed cases only.
Yung mga contacts ng 8 na contact trace na ba sila? Depende monitor yung mga close contacts?
So far, it's the LGU that is doing that already now. And so far, okay naman based on the data that they have provided to us. Okay na, wala namang padayon na maging impacts.
Sila of RP.
From ARD muna po. ARD, Davao del Sur had issued a memorandum, executive order rather, mandatory using of face mask, and also the Compostela of Davao de Oro, Manyata, nag-mandatory na sila sa paggamit ng face mask. Sa Davao region po ba, wala tayong directive to do the same thing?
Okay, this is just to clarify. Mpox is not respiratory. Meaning to say, hindi siya airborne. What's the use of the face mask? The mode of transmission of Mpox is skin-to-skin close contact. Okay? So, although na ay gitawag na to o kanang droplet infection or droplet, chances are when you face ang person with Mpox nag-ubo, naghatsing, okay, na chances nga mulagpot ang iyang laway, but that is not airborne. That is just droplet. So, si ma'am, ano yung distansya, umuubo ko, dili na ko siya matakdan because at least minimum of 1 meter. Unless kung mag-apple minimum, that's another story. Okay? So, okay. So, it can only affect the mode of transmission is close skin contact. That's the base, that's the most common, and that is the most important thing to do. So, whenever namoy nakita, ayun lang sa taon tanawan, hala, naman na siya butlig-butlig, dili kumudool. Diba? So, be human enough naman. Okay?
So, ibig sabihin po, ARD, that we are urging those LGUs in the province of Davao del Sur to cancel or lift the
It's their prerogative for the prevention and control. Siguro, ako lang, no, this is not of the office, pasin, they are also experiencing increase in influenza-like illness, daghan gyupo, daghan disipon. So, doing that, both ways yan. Kung naakay sakit, you have to wear. Bisan kani karon, even now, if you have signs and symptoms of ILI, pwede magmask ka. Reason, para di ka makatakot sa uban. If you go to a crowded place, lalo na, you have to protect yourself at the same time, protect other people. Munang, it's not mandatory, it's now person's prerogative kung wear siya o mask. Walay mo badlong sa iya.
Last na lang po, ARD. Do we recommend isolation po sa atong mga high-risk na mga individuals?
Okay, when we talk of isolation, lahat naman ba, if naamik suspect or very suspected, high probable, we are suggesting to the local government for them to isolate. Hindi naman na-isolate ka, grabe. Sa balay lang, sa bed lang, no? Because when we talk of isolation, ang inyong mga ginaandan nga isolation, ipato sa laing balay, sirado, dili mo makaduol, everything, di ba? Well, the isolation dyan, what we are defining this isolation is, dili lang siya maka-close contact sa imo, ang iyang mga gamit, dili di mo magamit. O katong gitawag na to, mga areas where they are usually using mga pultahan, those are the things nga ato lang mga likayan. It's not really that grabe nga i-isolate ni Murag COVID. Okay.
Thank you. Nga sa BFAR muna po. Ma'am, after the 12 years of implementation sa atong closed season, naabata gihapoy mga nadakpan every year nga mga nagmasinupakod sa balaod po.
Okay, thank you for that, ma'am. So since our 2014 implementation, our regional adjudication secretariat, from our region, has already docketed 13 cases since 2014. So almost every year natay 1 or 2 apprehensions sa ato ang close season, in which minimum lang po siya. Kay dili gyud sa anak kataas gyud ang cases sa mga nadakpan nato nga mo prohibit or maningkamot gihapon nga mangista gihapon sila, even nga prohibited sila mangista during close season.
Katong mga nadakpan nato, ma'am, were defined lang or gidakop yun, or di kulong yun rather?
Okay. Naatay sa atong adjudication, even sa ato ang Republic Act 10654, which amends our Republic Act 8550 or the Philippine Fisheries Code, naatay provision nga pwede they can settle, offer to settle under administrative case. And then discretion with our adjudication committee kung naay i-lift pa na siya towards criminal cases. But these 13 cases, naani sila opportunity to offer for settlement po to our adjudication committee.
Okay, Dr. Mendoza. Sir, balikan lang nato yung 8 cases all over Davao region. Sir, how do we able to categorize this one? Is it alarming or manageable? Can we understand it in a layman's term, sir?
In layman's term, okay na siya. Remember, it's not that explosive, di ba? Kailangan there is a close contact. Once the patient was diagnosed, na naman sila sa hospital, they are already isolated. Okay. So, for us, kung mayon ka og explosive, it's airborne. Kinahanglan kita magbantay tangtanan. Here, no, the basics lang. Kinahanglan to reduce your risk. Ikaw, kitang tanan, to reduce our risk. Kinahanglan gid mag-avoid that skin-to-skin contact with people who have rashes. So ang imong uyab na iras, ingnon sa imo di sa taron, wa sa taron, okay? Then don't share personal items, lalo na yung mga towels. Kaya naagid siya mo plate or kanang itawag na mo pomites, towels, habol, unlan, banig, okay? Then pinaka-common na to, even during the COVID, kinahanglan you have to wash your hand every now and then. Kung mag-wash ka hand, dapat at least 20 seconds doing the magkanta kang happy birthday or what. Or if not, you can sanitize your hand by using alcohol 70%. Okay. And then stay informed. Dapat you should be informed, mag-listen sa itong mga balita, and if you have signs and symptoms or suspect ka sa imong kagalingon, you have to submit to the nearest health facility.
Oh, sir, balikan lang na ako. Are the 8 cases in Davao region alarming or not?
No, lagi. No, it's not alarming. Okay. Why? There are 2 types of impacts. One is clade 1 and the other one is clade 2. The clade 1, muna siya ang serious na magtakot-takot dire-diretso. The clade 2 is the less serious unless magka-close contact ka. So, for us, ako as an epidemiologist, layo na kayo na siya sa tiyan. Layo na siya sa tinay.
Okay. Sir, Davao City Health Office said they have 6 cases SPMC said they have 7 cases, and then now the OH said we have 8 cases. As reporter, sir, I cannot understand how to match it all para pagka 6 plus 7 equals 8. Can you explain this to us, sir? Paano siya tinatali or minomonitor ng DOH as a whole?
Okay. To make it clear, all cases pass through SPMC. Kaya sila ang atong subnational. So when they say they have 8 lagi na siya. Kung maingon ang city nga na sila gikan na sa NMMC na datos, telling them you have 6 cases. So in other words, 8 cases lagi na siya.
So that means, sir, out of the 8 cases, 6 of these are in Davao City.
Most probably, yes. But remember, when we talk of address, daghan kayo reasons. It's been our experience nga taga-asa day ka, taga Davao, pero dili day siya taga Davao. That's why for us, we do it region-wide. So every person na nag-identify siya kung galingon taga-asa siya would be validated. Then if you will ask me on that question, you go to the local government unit because they have more data than us.
Okay. Sir, siguro mga last 2 na lang. These 8 cases, sir, went abroad, went outside Davao. How they acquire MPACs as a history of their medical.
Okay, there was one who went outside of Davao, but the rest are here lang sa Davao. No history of trouble, no history of contact.
So, how they acquire those?
Inana man na siya, ma'am, sa sakit, ma'am. There are many things nga you cannot explain, you know. Kay each of us are susceptible. Wala ta kabalo. Imong abay karon nanaday siya karon og kuan. Ang imong abay karon is already having signs and symptoms, but napa siya sa incubation period. Dili ka kabalo. Then you have already engaged, nag-abay-abay na mo, imong uyab, nagkuan na mo, so posible nga matakdan ka. So in other words, kung naatay ang pinaka man gud is napangitao na mo ang index case. So far wala pa may maka-identify sa index case for Davao region. Kay kalat man gud siya, dili siya specific na dinhi daghan kay na cluster or cases.
Opo, last sir sa ako, sir. Somehow nanay creation ng panic sa mga tao, specifically in buying face mask and alcohol. How do we appease the people, not just in Davao, siguro Davao region, na these cases of MPACs ay malayo sa bituka, as you said, and dili dapat mahadlok na mura siya COVID na we're going into the direction of pandemic and lockdown?
That's a good question, ma'am. Kay kami muhatag sa idea, you are our partners. You will be the one that will spread. Kung ano yung sinabi namin na these are the minimum standards, you will be spreading it. Kami lang ang mag-source sa iyo. Usually, mo na siyang may tabo. Nga naman, you are the one that is holding the mic, not us. So, kung unsa atong istoryahan karon, you explain it further in your radio programs, in your anything you do. Because you will be our best partner to disseminate proper information. Washing of hands, standard sanitation, and those are the most common. Maglikay kung naay simptoma, o ikaw naay sakit, you stay home, or digid man likayan, you may wear your mask. Okay, so inana ma'am, kamu ang pinaka number 1 na mo nga supporter on us in spreading the good news. Okay.
Okay, to be fair, ma'am, ano po yung penalty kung and how intensify ba yung ating monitoring sa Davao Gulf? Para meron ba tayo assets ni water assets para mag-patrolya how many ito na nag-patrol sa Davao Gulf? Anong penalty pag mahuli ang?
Okay, we're stunned with the available floating assets. For the enforcement of our close season sa Davao Gulf, dili lang kinahanglan nga ang taga-bureau lang po, taga-before ang law enforcement. But according sa ato ang balaod, everyone po nga deputized under our Philippine Fisheries Code, ginaauhag nato sila to implement or enforce this violation sa atong Section 100, fishing during close season. Kauban nato diri ang mga Municipal Fishery Law Enforcement Team sa kada LGUs sulod sa Davao Gulf. Kauban nato ang other government law enforcement agencies such as the Philippine Maritime, the PNP-PRO, the Philippine Navy, and the Philippine Coast Guard. Kauban nato na sila ang coordination nato sa ilaha during the conduct of our monitoring, control, and surveillance during the 3-month period. As to the floating asset, currently we have a 30-footer to units of 30-footer and naapot ay intervention from our central office, the 30-meter na atong ginatawag natong na MCS 3007 na floating asset po. Together with that, previously last week, we have our meeting with different government law enforcement agencies to seek for their ganapang ilahang pag-assist po nila sa ilahang available po nga floating assets during conduct of seaborne operations na malukop na to ang entire Davao Gulf. For the fines and penalties po, magdepende na siya. Kasi depende sa size sa bangka. From municipal fishing type na katong 3 gross tonnage and below, hantod 3 gross tonnage and above na gitawag na to commercial. Mag-range na siya from fines and penalties lang na po from 20,000 to 500,000. The bigger the vessel, the higher is the penalty. And then kung mo-proceed na siya into criminal cases, there will be imprisonment of 6 months and 1 day up to 6 years, double or twice the fine ng administrative fine, confiscation sa iyang catch o iyang gamit pangisdaan, as well as pwedeng ma-revoke ang iyang lisensya sa pagpangisdaan niya.
Good morning kay Dr. Mendoza. Tungod aning mga natala nga kaso sa MPAX, nibalik ang kabalaka sa publiko nga posible ba daw mabalik ang ginatawag nga lockdown.
Okay. Based sa akong gisulti ganina, it is not reborn. So in other words, kinahanglan sa ka makighalubilo, close contact. So ani na lang, ato nga sabon. Every one of us are susceptible to the disease. However, there are criteria para ka matakdan. Okay? Number 1, prolonged direct close contact sa taong may MPAX. It should be prolonged. Kung nag-abay lang mo sa jeepney, was na siya ipik. It should be prolonged. Second, prolong gyapon nga usage. For example, ang imong kapareha kauban sa balay na ay signs and symptoms of MPAX, gagamit ka sa iyang towel at the same time, gadulog mo the same habol, you have the chance to be affected. So, inana na siya, kung mayroon kag massive, pwede man siya. It will, because any infectious disease can be as wild as that, no? But remember, kung mayroong taog how serious it is, ang atong kaso sa impact is localized, it's clade 2. And kung naatay magstorya tag percentage sa patay, less than 1% lang siya. While ang clade 1 is the more serious kasi usually 10% ang iyang mortality for that. So ang ako lang yun is dapat we know what are the ways to makalikay siya. So, yun nila, we can reduce our risk by 1, practicing good hygiene, avoiding close skin-to-skin contact, and following the public health guidance. Number 1, know and avoid these factors. Minimize skin contact. Don't share personal belongings like towels or beddings. Let us prioritize and practice an open communication with sexual partners to protect our health and well-being. Second, practice good hand hygiene and sanitation. And thirdly, if you feel you are sick, or if you are you feel nga na kay signs and symptom, seek consult sa pinakaduol ninyo nga health facility.
Bali, Doc, dili kinahanglan or wala i-rekomenda karon sa DOH-11 ang lockdown basta kay doon na yung mga preventive measures.
Wala, we don't recommend. We don't recommend wearing of mask mandatory. We don't recommend lockdown.
Ano ba prophylaxis na medicine para ma-avoid ang monkeypox?
Virus ang mpox, wala siyang specific na treatment. Usually, ang mpox, just like other viral disease, pwede rin siya mawala without treatment. So, wala tayo gitawag na prophylaxis for that.
Good nun, Doc. For Doc Mendoza po, karon Doc is napanubayan ang ubay nga though dili mandatory ang ato ang face mask, there are still people nga nagabalik igod kaning bulto-bulto nga face mask, and then among nasayran sa mo ang Doc pagpanubay ba nga this face mask is katong kaniadto pang COVID-19, so there are kanang expiration dates, di ba? Dura ba tay mga kaning regulations ani Doc or kaning action as of now since kaning mga face mask and kaning mga ipangbaligya karon is under man gyapon na siya sa medical staff po, and then wala na noon siya nakatabang kaya nagpanik na ang mga katawan.
Okay. Wearing of face mask, number 2, wala pa man may cases nga, si ma'am o nag-wear of face mask. Oo. Wala'y magpugong sa inyo kung magsulob mo of face mask. Okay? Wala po yung kontra sa inyo. Okay? Because that is your own personal na mag-wear of face mask. Ako, kay akong edad, igo na, musakay ko close circuit sa bus, sa aeroplano, ga-wear yung kong mask. It's protection for myself as a senior citizen. Okay. Kung yung kag-expire sa mask, so far, wala pa may nakakitang nag-expire na mask. Ang akong mask sa una pa, sa COVID pa na, padagan pa ko. So, dili kay ko. Basta ang importante lang is there's a cover. If you cannot cover your mouth and nose, you better use something. Pwede na ganit nang ginagamit nila nga tela ra. Yeah, just to protect something. Okay.
Doc, pila bang ka years ba ni ang kani expiration date sa atong mga face masks, since ang mga nasayran Doc nga so young rin po kasi yung mga negosyante is nagbibenta sila ng face mask pero kaniadto pang pila na ka years, so pila bang ka years ang expiration ani Doc?
More or less based sa FDA nasa 2 to 4 years lang. So or pwede siya shorter, it depends on the klase. Because na may klase-klase, kana that's an ordinary surgical mask. Pwede rin na siya, that is disposable. Anytime, pwede na siya iwala. But there are masks na mas baga siya, mas taas ang iyang pong lifespan. Okay.
If ever Doc, that there one question, last question lang po Doc. If ever there would be cases na prove nga kaning expire na gid ang mga face mask nga ipangbaligya Doc, ang DOH po ba is maki-coordinate sa FDA po nato?
Dili ang DOH, you go to FDA because that is their mandate. Okay.
Thank you, Doc.
Anything basta anything expired nga pagkaon, spoiled nga mga pagkaon, mga ekipo, use supply na out of range na ato sa atong Food and Drug Administration.
Okay, Ma'am Elaine, may question sa FB. How many ma-affect sa closure and ano yung interventions natin sa mga ma-displace ng close season?
Okay, thank you for that, sir. Currently, we conduct cross-matching natin, no? We have recorded natin na fish workers, kaning ginatawag natong mananagat, nga musakay atong mga basnigan o mga hukbuhan. So around na sila so more or less 2,600 ang atong inventory today. And then, mga interventions, aside from the regular before livelihood interventions, nag-coordinate po ta with other national government agencies, Saying, for example, from our mother agency sa Department of Agriculture, they also committed na mag-provide og livelihood intervention sa mga kahayupan or livestock sa mga karabaw, kambing o mga manukan. We also partner with our DOLE sa ilahang tupad na ilahang programa, tulong upang sa pangkabuhayan ng ating mga displaced na workers. They have provided numbers of slots para sa atong mga affected na fish workers. We also coordinated sa ato ang DSWD para sa provision sa ato ang food packs during the entire close season period.
Good afternoon, Doc Mendoza. Gladys from UNTV. Doc, I understand that we do not recommend wearing a mandatory wearing of face mask, though nanay mga areas nga nag-implement na balik ani wearing of face mask. In connection ani siguro, Doc, what directives ang atong mga gipanghatag na sa mga business establishments or mga buildings just to control the spread of monkeypox? Thank you.
Imo man kung ginuhan, ma'am. Munta na siya akong closing. But anyway, ang amo lang is, one, our hospitals are ready if in case natay surge of cases sa MPAX. Tanan na nga itong DOH hospital. But we are also trying to coordinate with the private and other local facilities to do likewise. So gani ang uban nato nga DOH hospital nana sila gitawag nga fast lane. Kung natay fast lane sa dengue, naputay fast lane kung in case na suspect na MPAX kay para dili na siya masagol-sagol. Number 2, which now goes down sa akong last na statement, we are calling all establishments where nature of jobs entails skin-to-skin contact to observe the minimum public health standards. One, unsa man na siya nga mga establemento, salons, barbershop, gym na nasa akong likod, massage parlor. Kani sila nga mga establishment nagi skin-to-skin contact. Kung may gym na no, maka-skin-to-skin contact man. Kanang ilang ipanghawiran. Kana siyang gitawag na mga kanang high touch surface. So, unsa man na sila nganong we suggest to them to observe this following. Nga naman, hand hygiene, make hand washing facilities accessible. Kinahanglan nung nagid gyapon ng ang nahitabo mo sa ato during the COVID, akibot tatanan mo gasig-busig pagkawala sa COVID, wala sa tanan. But to tell you frankly, it's very helpful. Number 1, 90% of your sakit, especially respiratory o gastro, sa inyong kamot kagikan. So, dapat yun, at an-aw dahil siya, tinuod na siya. Naatan, kaya nga naman, kawit ka din hawid ka din hawid ka din kuot ka din wala gyapon. So, nagit sa imong kamot. Okay, hand hygiene, make hand washing facilities accessible, make alcohol or sanitizers available, and then disinfect high-touch surfaces. Muna ako, there are malls that I have seen na kanang sa escalator, nag-spray of alcohol every now and then because that's high-touch. Sa uban, mga doorknobs are already, and then for the establishment, they should assess their workers as well as their customers before they indulge into business. Okay, so kanara ma'am, ako ikatubag sa imo. Akong tanang pang-closing. Imong unahan.
Panghabol lang, sir. Mag-advise ba ta na parang mag-adjust sa number of passengers sa mga jeepneys? Kasi sobra pa na sa skin-to-skin, sir.
It should be prolonged.
How long is prolonged?
Sir, kung nasa imong kauban sa balay, that's prolonged. Okay. So, if you have ngadagan kay siya mga prolong. Basta it should be dugay. Ang MPAX, pare-pareho na sila o mode of transmission sa kining Hansens. Na kinahanglan yun, maski TB. Kinahanglan yun kadugay ang inyong contact. So most usually manggod pag yung kag MPAX kasi na magkauban sa balay or kanang kauban sa trabaho kay nagit sila ang contact na prolong.
Yung parang leprosy or Hansen is
Yes, inanagit siya. At TB or what? Prolonged contacts.
Ano yung mga symptoms na to watch out for?
This is now, when we talk of the signs and symptoms, muna ni siya yung nako sa inyo tanan. Kung atong bantayan ang signs and symptoms, tanan naghilanat, that's already part and signs and symptoms. Nahilanat, naibusipon, panakit sa lawas, rashes. But the rash would last 2 to 4 weeks before mag-develop na siya itong murag pustule ng pula na iputi sa tunga ng murag na inana. Then later, kung dako na siya, muna na itanaw ninyo nga dagko kay nga murag ulcers na siya. Okay, so mayroon lang kag naulian na siya kung ang scab matangtang. Maulian na matangtang. At the same time, ang person with that kind of lesion is still infectious until mawala ang scab. So mura na siya sir, naiuban, panakit sa lawas. So it's the signs and symptoms of impacts is generalized sir, non-specific unless mugawas na ang imong lesions.
Okay, so we'd like to thank our guests, Ma'am Elaine Belvis of the BFAR and Dr. David Mendoza, ARD of DOH11. Yung parting statements, again, reiterate natin, Ma'am Belvis, ano yung siguro sa yung close season? Kailan gani siya I think it started June 1 to August?
August 31. Okay, daghang salamat once again, everyone. Ginaauhag continuously our Bureau through the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Ginaauhag ang tanan to continuously support this year's implementation ng ato close season sa atong Davao Gulf, starting from June 1 up until August 31 of this year. And any queries, additional queries, or naamoy report to relay, we have our available hotline, cell phone number, email address posted in our websites and our Facebook account.
Okay, Dr. David Mendoza.
Again, thank you for inviting us, and then thank you for also your questions. There are questions we have to resolve also at the same time. But basically, you have helped us also. Number 2, we thank you for having us here because we know we already have partners to share what you have gained here. Ang amo lang sa departamento is give the proper information that you got from us. Kung pananglitan medyo apike na atay mga hand-handa, nami flyers nasa sa among Facebook, nasa dito ang mga dapat ninyong mabalaan, ang dapat ninyo i-share sa mga tao. Salamat.
Okay, thank you so much SFCT Davao at Krispy Kreme for the delicious donuts and coffee. Till next week, more relevant topics to discuss. Salamat.